Greetings, ABCers. I'm Robin Montague, and I'm honored to be here with our book club, our avid book club readers. And I just wanted to recap the Miracle Morning and the book that I've been setting into practice and some of the things that I've learned along the way. So with that being said, I like to start off with Robin Sharma's quote out of the book that an extraordinary life is all about daily, continuous improvements in the areas that matter most. And so when Hal Elrod suggested that we come up with the savers, and savers, for those of you who have not read the book, it's basically developing a morning, getting up an hour earlier and starting with silence, affirmations, visualization, exercise, reading, and scribing. And I just want to let you guys know how much it has affected and changed my life and little things that I've picked apart throughout it. And I was giving a few weeks for people to have time to read the book and follow up. And Jim Rohn states that your level of success will rarely exceed your level of personal development, because success is something you attract by the person that you become. And I think that's really important, that we as people continue to grow so that we can have God's deepest desires for us. And so with starting off, I feel like it's appropriate to start off with the silence. And I've always started off with silence and prayer time for me. I've always said that, we pray until something happens. So I always say push through. And when I say the word push, or you hear me say push, you'll understand that that means pray until something happens. But what I really liked about this is that Matthew Kelly stated that you can learn more in an hour of silence than you can in a year from books. And so being silent and knowing that God dwells in you as you, and embracing that authentic soul that He fingerprinted your fingerprint for a reason, to me is key to start the day in silence, so that you know without a doubt who He's created you to become. And I believe that my prayers usually start in gratitude. And when I do that and I pray until something happens, I love that Hal Elrod continues in the book and believes that when you express gratitude every day, you give yourself the gift of experience the joy of gratitude every day. Give yourself that gift today. Start your day in gratitude and with the silence. So when I'm praying to God and asking, I always start with that gratitude. And I encourage you, I really, really like this, that Hal Elrod discussed what the abbreviations of gratitude is. And it's basically, he encourages us to experience gratitude at a deeper level. So the G is to give it. R, receive it. A, affirm it. T, think it. I, inspire it to others. T, talk about it. U, understand it. D, dream it. And the last one, E, experience it in everything that you do. And I'll sum that up with a quote from Gandhi out of Silence. And I know that I talk a lot about silence, but I truly believe that's how you embrace who you are. Gandhi states that in an attitude of silence, the soul finds the path in a clearer light, and what is elusive and deceptive resolves itself into crystal clearness. To me, this allows me to live in the present. The next thing that I've incorporated in the Miracle Morning every morning when I get up is the affirmations. And I didn't realize the importance of affirmations in the personal development, but Hal Elrod is a huge believer in them. He states that to become a champion, you must first think like a champion. And the best way to think like a champion is to start talking like a champion. So start today like the champion you could be, and your thoughts and actions will follow. And, you know, there are many great resources that you can Google, and the Miracle Morning has 2 out of the book that you can use to read and reread and until you find that passion within you, if you're having a hard place on starting with the affirmations. But truly, affirmations are it's a repetition that you state over and over in your head till you believe it so that you become it. And I love that Muhammad Ali stated in the book, it's the repetition of these affirmations that leads to belief. And once that belief becomes a deep conviction, things will begin to happen. And that's where that momentum builds and things start changing in our life. So I feel like that is so key in the affirmation process and what the importance is. And even if we're spending 5 minutes in silence and 5 minutes on these affirmations, it will, over time, change your life. The V is the visualization. And Mr. Elrod beautifully states, let today be the day you give up who you've been for who you can become. And to reach the levels of success you've never reached before, you must be committed at a level that you've never been before. This is where I say, and I truly believe what Mr. Elrod states, is that the greatest gift you can give others is to fulfill your potential so that you can show them how to fulfill yours or theirs. So when you're doing this, guys, it is so important to me that you visualize who God's created you to be and who you want to become, and not just go through the motions of daily life, that you have to take that action step to make the changes to become the person that you want to be. So now's the time to give up being perfect, for being authentic, for embracing who you are, to be you, love who you are, and know that others will too. The next one is exercise. Health and wellness has been a huge part of my journey, and I truly believe in exercising and involved with exercise, no matter what discipline or what you choose to do. That's completely up to you. But getting the heart rate up first thing in the morning, and start with achievable goals and something small and achievable, and maybe 7 minutes a day. But 7 minutes over a full week's time is 35 minutes a week, and you can add and build to that. But exercise is key. I personally have had 2 herniated discs, and so I choose to go to the Senior Citizen Center in my local town, and they offer yoga. This man has been doing it, Mr. Willie, for over 35 years, and it's truly been life-changing and a blessing. And guys, I could not reach between my knees and my ankles. I guess I've ridden horses for so long, and the constriction of my muscles, but now I can touch the floor and touch the ground with my legs spread, and I've been doing it for over 4 months. So even if it's something you're uncomfortable with, just touch outside your box, reach outside your box and try it. I've been doing this again for 4 to 5 months, and it has truly been a life-changing experience. But I do it every day, and I've incorporated it in my daily routine. Though I go once a week to the Senior Citizen Centers, I'm picking up and hearing the repetition of over and over and what I need to incorporate in my home. And so the exercises are getting easier each week that I choose to do this. And I just want to address food while we're at it, and that we are what we eat. And so I encourage you to really think about and not just buy the things that you're used to buying, but become a label reader. Start looking on the back of things and reading. You know, if they have more than 5 ingredients, I usually won't pick it up. If it's processed food and I can't read the ingredient on the back of the label, then I won't buy it. And so I encourage you to start thinking about the things that you're eating and putting. And you know, God created the plants pretty easy for us and things for us to eat in its purest form. He created them seasonally, one, so that we rotate the fruits and vegetables that we eat. So eating from your local farmers is a great place, and choosing organic and getting the chemicals out of your body is another great place to start. So seasonal veggies and rotating them out is key. The other thing that I think is key is learning the shapes, like for bone and my spine, and to support those bones. Celery stalks are created that way, and so eating a lot of celery, I'll put a little bit of peanut butter or almond butter on there, and it is a wonderful snack. I'll put my Nietzsche wolf berries on top as a wonderful snack. But also, you know, you think when you slice a tomato, it's in the shape of a heart. So tomatoes great for heart health. And then unless you're autoimmune like me, and then you skip the tomatoes altogether. But a walnut, it's in the shape of a brain. And if we slice a carrot, what's neat is it's in the shape of an eye. And so food, to me, is really important that we pay attention to the different things that God does try to make this easy for us if we just slow down, stop, and listen a little bit. So exercise and food into the diet is really key to success. And I love how Robin Sharma states, if you don't make time for exercise, you'll probably have time for illness. So think about those things, and think about the things the snacks that you're choosing to eat, and you know, the consequences for that over an amount of time. You can either be proactive or not and choose the synthetic way. But reading is the next step in Savers, and reading is to the mind what exercise is to the body, and prayer is to the soul. We become the books we read, and that's Matthew Kelly, and that's why I've started this book club. I know that we've started off slow, but for me, it takes me a while to incorporate things and to really process them and to move forward. And I'm also choosing to read the Bible. I've read the book of Mark and started on Luke as this program has gone on, and then we'll keep introducing books as we go, and I will be introducing the next book really soon, so I'm really excited about that. But to really think about that, we become the books that we read. So what are we reading? And is it who we want to become? And I think, you know, what we're feeding our mind, and the news that we watch, and the things that we're putting in the conversations or gossip that we're within, and we're reading in these magazines and things like that, is that who we want to become? Or do we need to ditch and switch and try some different reading materials to grow? Again, we're back to personal development and growing and choosing to grow. And the last one is scribing. Scribing, journaling, writing, putting it down. And Diane Rabb stated in The Miracle Morning that whatever it is that you write, putting words on a page is a form of therapy that doesn't cost a dime. So when we write, we bring it in our subconscious to our conscious, and that we can rewire and rechange those things if we choose to. And I love that our Gary Young within our company with Young Living Essential Oils, he always believes that when you scribe it or you write it down, it will come to fruition. And I truly believe that if you start writing down things, or creating a vision board, or whatever it is for you, things will start to happen, and motivation. So be careful what you do scribe, and make sure they're things that you want in your life. Because the Bible, as you think it is in your heart, so is He. And when we write it down biblically, and we start writing it down, it will become what you are. So, I just want to leave you with a couple of quotes. Like Jim Rohn stated that motivation is what gets you started. Habit is what keeps you going. And remember that Don Marquis states, successful people are not born that way. They become successful by establishing the habits of doing what unsuccessful people don't like to do. The successful people don't always like to do these things themselves. They just get on and they just do them. So I encourage you that if you haven't done the Miracle Morning, get on and do it. And look forward to keeping in touch with you guys. Thank you, and have a blessed beyond measure week.